Gentlemen, take it away.
Oh, man. Thank you guys so much. Coming into this game number 1. Look at this. Almost had a fight there. You guys would have been telling the truth this time, panel, if you said they had smoked up, tried to fight, tried to trick us into giving a quick prediction.
The panel always lying to us, you know, 5-man smoke, sit down straight away, check what's happening. Look at my boy Spirit Breaker. Boots of speed and 1 tango. He's ready to go.
And that's your 5. That's your 5 Spirit Breaker. 1 tango, boots, greed.
Yeah, great.
Just straight greed.
Great way to deal damage in the lane trade with the enemy support. Let's see if they're gonna fall for this trap.
Oop, Borax. Thinking about it. He saw the timber. They backed out. They let those bounties go. Aster, though, they got the 2 bottom bounties, so they're okay with that. 2 for 2. Don't have to lose your life. Don't have to enable this Spirit Breaker that went with 1 tango. Works out fine.
Yeah, all good. I mean, he's gonna bring extra region. Has enough gold to buy 1 set of tangos. Could be a bit problematic, you know, playing into next Batrider. I think he's going to be able to achieve much, even though Troll is a strong laner, so whoever is paired up with the Troll should do fine. Problem is, it's like Troll into Batrider, something that Batrider really shines to play into, so it should be overall a really good Batrider game against the Timbersaw, against the Troll. Looks really, really good. And the top lane, sorry, B-Cup, I know you wanted to ask something, but I just want to talk about the Gyrocopter against the Timbersaw. He's like very vulnerable to any kind of magical burst damage until he gets like a casual cloak or a hood online. Definitely a good hood game against all the heroes that they're playing into, but overall, Gyro very good. Now, B-Cup, your turn. Ask me something, I'll give you an answer.
Oh, can I ask
What's
anything?
my favorite color? No.
Oh, all right.
It has to be Dota related.
What's my favorite Dota color?
Purple.
It's red. But, yeah, so this would be a more one-sided lane if Batrider didn't get nerfed, though, right? Like, back before the nerfs, it would feel a little bit better for him.
For sure, yeah. That's how it works. You nerf a hero, he doesn't do as well as he did before. Makes a lot of sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm asking the simple questions. But to go on that, do you think that, like, why is there so much, I don't know, I don't want to say stubbornness to still pick Batrider, even though he's been, you know, banged up in terms of nerfs?
Because Batrider is still a BKB piercing ability. You just need to survive. Like, his laning stage got nerfed, and I don't think it matters that much when he's not in the mid lane. When he's paired up with another hero on the side lane,
right,
you're not going to feel that much of an influence from those nerfs.
Okay. That was the only question I've got. I think I've run out of question ideas
Ran out of questions? All right. So let's just have a normal conversation about Dota. DZY on the top lane on Timbersaw, doing extremely well. Like, he's not really threatened that much until they get the levels, but there's also this annoying hero called Lion, which became really popular to zone out certain heroes. He's a strong laner, good attack animation, and just the mana drain. Like, you can see Monet already being out of mana on Gyrocopter, so you can't kill this Timbersaw. That's going to be a huge problem, something that I did not look into. I forgot about Lion.
Yeah, usually you don't see Lion just able to kind of stand there and mana drain, though. It feels like sometimes he
Io can't stop it, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes you have a stun, you threaten a kill, and there it is. Like, Monet, I'll better use my mana right now, because I will not have it.
Yeah, they're going to try and run up on him. Rocket Barrage used
on him. Has a Fairy Fire.
They have a lot of damage, though. They might just dive the tower and get the kill. So even though he's been using that mana drain, they've realized they can't kill the Timber. Might as well just go for the Lion. Take my mana, I'll take your life.
Interesting move. Like, I definitely thought Lion's not going to die there. Maybe, you know, a move from the Timbersaw, try to threaten, not necessarily like a kill, but maybe deal some damage with the Timber Chain. Block off, share some of the damage from the Rocket Barrage, could potentially save Lion there.
Yeah, I felt like there was no angle for TZY to want to go in and try and mitigate that damage.
4-minute rune. Nyx Assassin picks up double damage. This is one of the funniest things in Dota when you have 6 heroes mid, 4 minutes in.
It's always a party. But that's the good thing about Spirit Breaker. He could TP back to base, charge out to lane. You know, the TP being on cooldown is not the worst thing in the world for him in terms of, like, you know, you see sometimes heroes TP back, they die, and they have to make the walk of shame, which is always a bad time. Shylock, he's doing all right. Not at the top of the CS, but he's sitting right there, even with Puck, even with the Death Prophet. Like, he's enjoying his time, and I think the one thing that we've noticed from Shylock is he does lane all right.
Yeah,
but afterwards it's a struggle.
What I was about to say, you know, Shylock laning stage throughout this DPC season has been great, but then some like decision making post 10-15 minute mark, what he needs to do, especially on the Terrorblade, on the Lycan. I remember that game with Lycan where he pops the ulti, doesn't see an enemy hero, and then runs in, tries to find him, which was something that I've not seen before. It's a very hard for like inexperienced safe laner carry players to actually know. Like this is the biggest problem. Like when to join a fight or when to farm. Because if you don't join a fight, your team might lack damage, and then it feels like you're playing 4 versus 5. But if you join, you die. You feel like you wasted so much actually.
You know, dying, losing that gold, losing that time that could be potentially spent farming, or you do what he's done. You join the fight. And then you just run around. So you're not dying, you're just kind of observing. It just doesn't feel like you're adding much of anything, and that can be frustrating in itself when you can't find an opening. And you all of a sudden feel very frustrated in the fact that you think you have enough to participate, but
yeah, we've seen throughout the Dota history a lot of players, really carry players, struggling with that, being top-notch in terms of skill, like spell casting, but the decision-making wise, when you don't know where to go with your hero or how to use your power spikes, like you're just going to feel mediocre.
Yeah, and it's something that I think these teams like MagMa and LBZS, a couple of the lower division teams, are hopefully figuring out with a couple of their carries, or even anybody on the team. When is the right moment for me to be involved, and how in these situations can I be involved? Because we've seen it a lot with the cores from you know, some of these teams that are lower in the standings, like LBZS yesterday. It was a little bit tough with X, who was playing the mid. He struggled a little bit, but over mid, we've got ourselves the charge as well as the stun coming in from Yam Yam, Aladdin popping that Spike Carapace and just walking away from an exorcism and 3 heroes.
It's still going to be a lot of tower damage. Glyph used by Aster. They need to bring numbers. Like, Lanham is not that hero to actually be able to stop this push. All he can offer pretty much is Impale. There's the Batrider rotation, plus a Puck Coil.
Yeah, they have the Dream Coil. They just don't have a lasso to follow this up right now. XSS only level 5.
Zoning Coil. And tower will still go down.
Backing up and bottling
the deny.
And that's it.
That's something. Problem is right now Aster does not have enough damage. Like, look at their supports. Io does not provide you with any kind of damage. Next Assassin as a position 5, you know, damage is pretty low. Top lane.
Ooh, Monet getting run down. Homie Missile stops TZY. They've got the tether back to the Gyrocopter. All will be okay for now. Going Treads Maelstrom so far on this Gyro. Borax, he's got the 2 Sages mask, has an early headdress, a wand, and going into the urn early on. And then while we talk about that combo, TZY, just like you said, he's got that hood, and afterwards he's picking up a wand and then going for a Lotus Orb.
I love the straight up hood pickup. No shenanigans, understands where the most of the damage from Master is going to come from. So this is going to be problematic. I want to see MagMa rotating to the top lane, trying to push a tower. Timbersaw is already level 6. Gyrocopter only level 5. XXS has that invis. Let's see if they can grab a kill. Waiting for the lasso.
Easy kill there with the lasso coming in. They've got 3 heroes just to go right on top of TZY and take out a Timbersaw, which is a hero that, in that matchup alone, yeah, probably doesn't die. Get the addition of XSS. He's got that lasso, has that invis.
It was always hard to play Timbersaw into Batrider. You just, you know, struggle using that Timber Chain. He flies over you. You're vulnerable to magical damage. Again, one of the reasons why he decided to go straight for the hood. I don't think even if he managed to pop the hood there, that would save him. Aster's lineup needs a lot of time to be able to actually get online. They need levels on their supports. Batrider, he's also going for Boots of Travel as the first item, which is pretty common, you know, but it's not an item that gives you ability to fight. So Puck will need to do a lot of heavy lifting just to keep their team inside the game.
They're coming around. They've got the Hex out onto White Album. Exorcism popped early. Call down Dream Coil. That gets used. Locks up the Death Prophet and Dust. Use the Exorcism. Dies shortly after. Charge comes in and comes across the bow of XSS. Hits on a Monet. TZY can do all he can. As they've locked up Monet, the relocate's not going to be in time, and they will lose this gyrocopter. Coming over, though, is Shylock trying to make something happen on this troll. He's burning up quite a bit and might be in a lot of trouble, and fall, actually, as White Album gets the kill. He's illusory orbing over to the side as Mian catches him with the Earth Spike. First hit bash with the Hex. There's the kill, and taking out another.
10 heroes, top lane, 9.5 minutes in. And this is what we talked about, like Shylock, laning stage, very good. Then he decides to actually TP, try to help the team with the troll, who's like level 7 at the time, which definitely he should not do it. He should farm the jungle, get his Battle Fury up. Oh, Death Prophet.
Dust is just dead again. This homing missile comes in, and they've got the lasso to follow it up. You came up top, you used Exorcism, you die shortly after, come back top and die again. Your game is shut down.
Oh, this has to be one of the worst feelings in Dota, especially when you play Death Prophet. He went in, Exorcism, dealt like almost no damage at all. Then you TP back, you die again. Your TP's on cooldown, so you have to walk. You still have tier 3 towers, so that means, you know, you have to walk a lot of distance to get to the creep wave. Now, this is a problematic, like that Prophet should not die there. TZY clearing a big stack in the jungle. Maybe he was afraid, you know, you would eventually want to save it for Troll, possibly a Death Prophet to enable her game, make her get a comeback into this game somehow. But yeah, I guess they were just afraid that Batrider will be able to go in and take those stacks.
Especially with the pressure that was coming out up towards top, they don't want to have Dire push in and, like you said, see those stacks and take them. Those 2 deaths there really mess with Dust's game. We've seen it before, and we're seeing it again. The laning goes well, and then everything kind of falls apart when they're forced to make decisions like that, and fighting and not fighting, and Shylock makes a mistake. I mean, Dust makes a bit of a mistake there too with the Exorcism.
Actually 3 huge mistakes by MagMa's cores. Shylock deciding to TP, Death Prophet dying straight away. Problem is they don't have any kind of save for the Death Prophet. Usually we see something,
like an
most
Oracle.
of the time it is Oracle, so he needs to be more careful about his positioning.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
So put some pressure on the top tier 1. Boots Travel finish for XXS. We get a quick pause coming in here. Aster taking a little bit of a lead. I like how White Album has been playing. Yeah, he gets caught in that top interaction, but for the most part, I've been really impressed from his play. He's come over from SAG, you know, the artist formerly known as DD, now going by White Album. He's played this Puck a couple times throughout the DPC season. He's performed really well. He's had a couple different builds. This time he goes to the Veil, which I think is a good choice.
Yeah, it goes back to my point where I talked about him needing to be more active. You know, the Boots of Travel and the Batrider will come as the first item. Gyro still wants to be able to farm, so this
Speaking of Gyro, he's getting chased. Your finger used. Monet gone really quick. Those are 2 quick deaths for him in succession.
This is like cheap damage. Like, look at their magical damage. Batrider, Next Assassin, synergizes well with his hero on top of that. Going into Blink Dagger next, not going into Boots of Travel, which I really like. Like, you can pick up bots after. And then they have this mobile lineup with possibly relocate last or relocate plays, coil into relocate or Boots of Travel from the Batrider. So a lot of options for Aster. The good thing is they did not lose the laning stage because MagMa, they made a couple of mistakes. And I think with the lineup that they had, MagMa should be ahead at this point of the game.
Got a kill there for TZY. XSS going down. looking towards that blink dagger, but unable to,
Dire's top tower is under attack.
you know, allocate the gold quickly enough to get it, and now that'll be slowed down a little bit. 13 minutes in, they're taking a tier 1 top, so they've got the mid tower. That ended up getting denied. But the tower up in the top lane, they take themselves, and this is going to squeeze the map a little bit for Team Aster.
Radiant using Glyph. It was only White Album hitting a tier 1 tower. But, you know, something might be cooking. There is Monet and Borax coming together. So, no defense of that tier 1 tower. They understand, like, we probably should not do it. Troll getting closer to his Battle Fury, just a couple of hundreds away.
Mm-hmm.
He would have had that if he did not DP and die into that tier 1 tower top engagement.
And then you think about, he would have had that Battle Fury earlier. He would have had those stacks, most likely. Dream Coil used over mid. You've got the Waning Rift followed up. Lanham here with the Vendetta hit. And the last hit on a MagMa. Lanham, of course, building that Falcon Blade.
I wanted to say it, you know, ask you, do you think Lanham will get that Falcon Blade on Nyx Assassin into possible Aghanim Scepter? Like, if he gets Philosopher's Stone, also known as Fele, he just might be able to farm that Aghanim Scepter.
When was this decision made?
It's been made a couple of tournaments ago.
Okay. I never got the update.
Sorry, we didn't message you.
All right, next time.
You were irrelevant at that time. You know. Just kidding, wake up.
I'm going to hide under this desk right now. Oh, my God.
You know, sometimes when we talk about the stuff, you're just setting up jokes perfectly.
Okay.
I mean, you and me, we casted a long time ago. I've seen the potential, but I'm not a TO, so I could not invite you to the tournaments. Hype it up.
Yeah, they're going to go after this IO. They've got the Yules in. They'll use the Exorcism under the call down. They'll still get the kill, though, onto Borax. Use that Fingers. 2 stacks for Mian. Good pressure coming out from MagMa recently. I think that one fight, yeah, they slipped up, but they've had a couple of good engagements, and they've continued to make Monet's life really hard around the map.
That good invasion of the triangle.
Lasso on a TZY. They've got the Vendetta hit onto the Timber, and a quick kill there. Doesn't even feel like they need the break. Dream Coil, okay. Are they going to continue to go for this? They really wanted to get Shylock, but the rest of the team wasn't ready.
So this should be a tier 1 tower. There is no Timber Saw. They need the front line from Timber. Timber's actually insanely farmed right now. Lanham.
Moving in, gets hit by that Earth Spike. They're coming around. The Veil placed down by White Album. Charged through from Kaz. Silence hits onto a couple of these heroes from Aster, but they're going to continue to chase. They want Shylock. They want Kaz. That Battle Trance is used, but he's stunned up, so a lot of his time is just going to be spent doing nothing. He's trying to survive, but he's on the run and gets behind the tier 2 tower, but the Spike Carapace is there. And they will take out a third. MagMa not finding any answers on that one.
Yeah, this is the aggression that we've seen from Aster throughout this DPC league, you know, just going 5-man strong, like spell usage is on point. They get the tier 1 tower from that as well. And once again, Shylock trying to fight with the team, dies. So yeah, kind of rough one for him.
He was spotted in that area before when they used the Dream Coil. Didn't catch him originally, and he went back there. I thought maybe if you really want to avoid these fights, move over to another part in the map, right? Try to farm somewhere else.
Like, you need to find the farm for yourself. I want to see what his item build is going to be. Yasha into BKB. I don't think if Aster keeps going for these earlier fights, you might need to be able to just buy a straight BKB, because you need to fight with the team, and we could see the kiting potential from the puck, like the coil, stuns coming out from Lanham's Nyx Assassin. A bit disappointed, Lanham going into Eon Disc.
For now.
For now, he could swap things around. Like, Eon Disc on Nyx is one of the best items. Like, Eon Disc overall just got buffed, lowered the cooldown of it. Lanham chasing.
Yeah, they don't have any vision to spot him. Great double stun. There's the Dream Coil to follow it up. Spike Carapace as well, making it look really easy. Dust is going to try and survive here, but there's just no chance. Lanham, so it's been very impressive to see him come in here and just kind of be what Aster needed.
And he could go for that kind of a play. There is an observer, there is a sentry ward, so he knows that he will not get caught by any vision. And to go back to the Eon Disc talk, like, it allows you to use your spells. If you get caught, they don't have any dispel mechanic or whatever, and then like just landing an impale or spike carapace could make a big like turnaround. Like,
yeah, Aster, they've really been performing well off the back of Lanham joining the team. There was a point where they had Fade, of course. He goes to E-Home. They bring in Chizbug. Chizbug, a star who I thought was going to work with this lineup, and I think soon after they realized it wasn't going to work, they, you know, traded him for, or, well,
nickname
went to Lanham. It's a great name. I love it. And then they pick up Lanham, and since they've got him, they've performed really well.
Who would have guessed? You know, Lanham brings a ton of experience to its team, and we can see why. Like his rotations, his 2-0 and 6 on position 5 Nyx Assassin. I'm not sure you want to be given this Nyx Assassin to Lanham in any of the future games. Bottom lane.
Yeah, they want to go. They've got the Junko on the 2 once again. They've got 2 heroes here to try and support these cores, but the relocate in. Monet, Borax, they come through. The lassos there on the dust. They'll also have the kill on a TZY, a quick 1-2 punch as, oh gosh, Mian doesn't even have the time to TP out. White Album grabs the 3rd. And with that, I mean, it's such a quick fight. Immediately, Monet and Borax are back up towards top with the relocate.
This has always been, you know, the strength of Gyrocopter plus IO. You're playing a different side of the map. Someone set things up. You have pretty much the perfect hero. Puck, they stand in a coil for a very long time. BKB reveal. From the Gyrocopter, they have no abilities that go like through magic immunity that he needs to be really afraid of. There is like Exorcism, there is like Spirit Breaker, but at the moment, like, he's just too tanky, especially after he picks up this Aegis. Let's see if MagMa wants to contest it. They still need a bit more time to actually finish it off.
Yeah, the contest won't be there. And it's an Aegis for Monet. All of a sudden, Aster, they were behind about 2K early on in the laning stage. Now they're up 10K. Good impale landing from Lanham. Responded with an Earth Spike from Mian.
Do you know B-Cup in Dota 1? We could not think of 3 different names for the spells. So both Lion, Nyx Assassin, and Sanking, they all had Impale. I was just, you know, too complicated to think of something.
Now they're all differently named. Do you still just, when you think about them, just normally just call them all Impale still?
Sometimes, yeah.
They've got the Spike Carapace, the lockdown, easy kill on a Kaz, dominating now for White Album, who drops another multi-hero Dream Coil in, and they've got the call down on top of it. They get the kill.
Lanham is just too good.
So good, and he is continuing to perform at top-notch skill. They will continue to go after Dust, get themselves a 3rd. He's been on fire. Lanham is just being perfect this game. 2-0-11. He's fine, you know.
I've been really impressed the way Lanham has been playing throughout this DPC Season 1. Like, his Abaddon, position 5 with boots of speed, moving across the map, getting the kills. Like, you don't expect this much pressure coming out from position 5. Who, you don't think he can do that much, but actually Lanham can.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
And they have really just seen the best from Lanham. It's the Falcon Blade, man. It's what's helping him every time. You don't expect a bug to be holding a blade. It's scary.
I'm just trying to think of some game where a bug holds any kind of sword.
Probably Dark Souls, one of them, at some point. They're going over. Lanham is just man-fighting Kaz right now, and it's giving enough time for the rest of the team to come over. XXS, he doesn't have Blink, but he does have Lasso, so with that Flame Break, he'll have the Lasso, and they should be able to secure the kill on Kaz, who does use that charge, but gets hit by the Spike Carapace, and now you've got another one, and the Axe finished on Monet.
And Monet is just an unkillable beast right now. Also, to go back to like the itemization from MagMa, that Prophet decides to go Hood as the 2nd item, which, you know, I can understand, but you're playing from behind. She died twice. You still need a BKB this game because there's a ton of uncontrollable damage. There's still a ton of magical damage. Like, Nyx Assassin can set up a stun on you perfectly with just the Carapace.
They relocate up towards top. BKB TP out from Shylock. That is the 10-second BKB used to TP out.
I mean, I talked about his itemization as well. He had Yasha into be queued up. I said there's not enough time for him to buy both of these items straight away, especially Yasha into BKB. Decides to go straight into BKB, which I like. I just don't think, you know, that they're having a rough time right now, just fighting, going into Basher next, which I also like. If he can farm that to be able to possibly just kill one hero before the fight starts. They're also lack a bit of a lockdown. I love the itemization from Timbersaw. Like this Lotus Orb could make a hell lot of a difference, especially like against the Gyro's homing missile, mana burn, lasso, getting rid of the silences could be great.
And I also just want to point out, Lanham's just had free reign of the map. Like the warding, like obviously he's under Ob Sentry right now, but Aster have done a good job of cleaning up the map, making sure that Lanham has the ability to just be around everywhere. And that's what set up a lot of these kills, a lot of these relocates. Is him in the Vendetta, waiting for the relocate, land the stun. He's landed a bunch of multi-hero stuns. And every single time it feels like he's just walking around the map unseen.
I don't think you can expect more from your position 5 than what Lanham is doing in this game. Like, this is a perfect example of what position 5 does. De-warding, setting up some aggressive wards, moving around the map, securing the runes for the team, having 0 deaths on 5, which is pretty impressive.
Going into that Vendetta. We'll see if they make a move here. It's actually MagMa who smoke. But look at where Lanham is. He's ready to break smokes, and that's exactly what he does. Doesn't even get hit by the dust. Oh, man. Coming in, Vendetta with the Impale. Easy kill on a TZY. Looks over at Mian Mian. They're going to continue to chase and grab a second. They might even get more. White Album now has the mana.
Coil on
it's a
3.
3-man coil. It just doesn't get any better than this. They're going to lock down this Death Prophet. Dust gets killed off. Shylock goes to the battle trance with BKB once again. So that will run out. The BKB's been popped by Monet. He's actually lucky that Kaz looks so juicy as a kill there, as Monet stops to get the kill on the Spirit Breaker, and all that's left alive is that Troll.
A rough one for MagMa. They don't have the answers that Aster is throwing at them. Like, first 10 minutes, they were okay-ish, then they bring extra heroes, Troll dies, DP dies twice in a row. This is kind of where the game breaks. And this Gyrocopter is just getting out of control, going into Scotty, just a point booster away to be able to like deal with the lifesteal coming out of control. Ulti, Timbersaw, that Prophet. It's just item that's going to cripple out pretty much the whole team of Team MagMa.
Yeah. 20k ahead. It's a rough spot to be in. 23-5. It's just been complete one-sided affair. TZY goes to the Flamethrower. Okay.
Okay. I mean, when this item was, I mean, the shard was introduced, I was talking about it as if it was a meme, but it's not. It's actually one of the best one. I think that's like S-tier shard for sure right now. It deals a ton of damage. It's 30% slow.
We've seen it be a game changer before, but
not in this one, B-Cup. You know, I'm trying to stay positive here. Coil on 2.
Yeah, Dream Coil again. That hit with the Flame Break. They've got the silence, but it's only onto the Gyrocopter. Spike Carapace doesn't land anywhere, but Shylock already jumping in with the BKB. That is just not the spot he wants to be in, and now that BKB is going to be down for another minute. He does have Battle Trance, but Aster, well, they're waiting, and they're looking to siege this bottom lane, hoping that MagMa make mistakes and just jump into their hands. It may not even be something that they need. They could just move
this might
forward
be
after
it.
MagMa
has one more fight. They don't manage to kill multiple heroes in this one. The game pretty much just ends. Aster's going to repeat that on a mid lane. Let's see the initiation. Lanham, he's in. Godlike for White Album. I'm doing play-by-play. B-Cup.
Yeah, they're going in onto this Timbersaw. They get a kill on a TZY. It's good play-by-play. I think, you know, cost, you might want to...
I might reconsider.
Yeah.
My career options. There's the lasso on Io with the shard. They're just fooling around right now.
Yeah, they got the GG call. Aster, they take game 1. It looks pretty simple overall. I mean, there was a point where MagMa looked good, and again, it comes from that laning stage, but there are mistakes that get made. from that laning stage into the mid game, causes them to fall behind quite a bit, and Aster, well, they don't let it go from there.
This has been the story of MagMa and LPCS throughout this tournament. Good players, they know how to play the lanes individually. They're very skilled, but when it comes to decision making, we can see like Shylock, first rotation, fights with the team, dies. Same goes for the Dead Prophet.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, a rough one, something they need to work on, but I've been really impressed by Lanham this game. Man is just a beast.
Yeah, definitely my MVP for game number 1, but I guess we'll see what the panel has to say in terms of an MVP, in terms of that game 1. So back over to you guys.
Thank you very much, B-Cup and Lacoste. Yep, that is game number 1 in the bag for Team Aster as expected. They looked good, they looked crisp. Very few mistakes from them and MagMa, unfortunately. Same can't be said. A couple of vital misplays, and all of a sudden they are just down too far and they could not recover. But guys, I mean, I think the first question I want to ask is, why did this IO kind of just... You know, this was a first pick IO, which really wasn't answered at all. And now we look at it, you know, that there was no Wyvern, there was no AA. Could that have been something which MagMa just completely overlooked in this game?
You don't really overlook an IO. You just think that what you've picked is solid enough to deal with him. I think they were also preparing a little bit more for the carry IO than for this position 5-1 that was position 4-5, whatever, that was played with the gyrocopter. But that's truly not a... You can't blame this game on the draft. It's all about the execution, that Prophet utilizing her first exorcism, dying with it, then going back into the lane, dying again without the TP. Shylock as well joining fights way too early. As a troll, there's not a lot that he can contribute. He tries to do so. However, one good thing for MagMa, at least they managed to take down this gyrocopter a couple of times early on. That finger was utilized very well by them, but just picked apart by Aster, really. Just outplayed and picked apart in many of these early skirmishes.
Yeah, it's very hard to deal with a lineup like the one that Aster has. For an inexperienced team like MagMa, you have this Nyx Assassin scuttering around, you know, picking you off from the side, and Bad Rider flying in, catching the next guy, and just get picked off one by one. And it really takes a lot of mental fortitude to not get affected by that. And we could definitely see, after that fight top, you know, they got picked off twice, I think, on the DP again, and they just didn't play Dota anymore. They were so scared suddenly to make any move around the map. They got out-farmed, Aster takes the Roshan, and the game is very simple from there on out.
Pretty brutal stuff in this first game, that's for sure. I mean, there really didn't look like there was much of a chance at all for MagMa to come back into it. Once they started going on Aster, these pick-off heroes just become so oppressive. You can't move around the map. You can't leave yourself open. And unfortunately, that wasn't something which MagMa were able to control, and in the end, they do just get crushed and suffocated out of this first game, I think is the only way to really say it. That's about it, really, for game number 1. How much more can we really say about it?
Yeah, I think it all comes back to that one team fight top where, not Lacoste, Lizard said, where the DP just died top twice. They were suddenly scared of taking team fights. With a lineup where the team fight should be super simple, you know, and then you play split push against a team that has so many pick-off abilities, it's not going to work.
And it's funny how we said in the draft before that for MagMa to have a good game, Dust needs to have a good game. And then he dies twice straight up, and I was like, uh-oh, this is not looking good.
The map just feels so claustrophobic if you're Radiant. I can feel for them even. You're playing versus Nyx, Batrider, IO with Relocated.
Yeah,
Maybe if I take this cap, I'm dead.
Yeah, one misstep and you're just punished for it instantly. Very hard to play, and as I said, it can get into your head. But let's see who our MVP is for game number 1. And to nobody's surprise, it will be Lanham on the Nyx Assassin. Doing so much work, being the #1 killer, placing tons of wards, and generally just supporting his team, and being the driving force behind this very aggressive playstyle in game number 1. So a well-deserved support here.
16 assists. Pretty much every time you would see that Prophet or Troll die, he would be a centerpiece of catching them, either with the Carapace or with the Impale. So
also zero deaths.
Zero deaths.
Yep.
Like any support that ever has a zero death game is just like, it's just a testament to how good the positioning in the game really is. Like
or bad as well.
or bad, but most of the time, if it's bad, you're gonna die at least once or twice, you know.
True.
But if you're always in a great position, like he got out of a lot of fights with like 100 health, he goes back in, another double stun. Just Lanham, man. Like, who says old people can't be good at Dota? Like, Lanham is... he's like 30-something, and he's still crushing.
Is he really? 30
Yeah.
plus? Didn't know that.
Yeah.
He is certainly still looking fresh as a daisy to me, but that's going to be it for game number 1. We're going to throw it over to a break, after which we shall be back with game number 2 in this best of 3 series between Aster and MagMa. We'll see you very soon. Now with this absolute crushing I felt like I was watching the hydraulic press channel after game number 1, and they were just getting absolutely squeezed. Are we expecting a comeback?
50%, right? They either win or they lose.
Yeah, it's only 2 outcomes, really.
Yeah.
Now for realsies?
Yeah, it's going to be rough, but if they maybe get that lone trade that they won versus E-Home with, that's I'm literally I saw one draft
It
that
wasn't
worked.
banned, right?
Yeah, I saw one draft that worked for them, one draft that they won with, and I'm coming back to it. Just
So
try
what you're
it.
saying is, now, when the pressure is on them, more than ever, MagMa have a chance to pick something completely crazy, to turn things around, to do the unthinkable, and come back versus Team Aster. Is that what you're saying is going to happen here, Lizard?
Not really with as much hype, and
Oh.
I'm not really saying that that's what's going to happen.
It's rather what might need to happen
Yeah.
because you're not
I see.
beating Aster in a straight-out game.
Okay, okay.
Like, you gotta dig deep, very deep, in fact, like as deep as you have never dug before, and then you can surprise. If you can surprise us, maybe you can surprise Aster. But last game was not very surprising, unfortunately. The Troll last pick was more like, okay, comfort zone, but you're not beating them in your comfort zone.
No, you're not. No, you're not. We need that spin ball, that curve ball, that wild card pickup, and
The
unfortunately,
fidget spinner.
ooh, yeah. Very, very relatable. Thank you, Black. Appealing to the younger audience.
Did you actually ever have a fidget spinner?
I did not.
No? Yeah.
I watched a lot of people have a lot of fun with it.
Same.
I always was like, what's so fun about that?
It's fun to fidget with something, I guess. and
My
spin.
uncle bought like I think 15,000 fidget spinners, but like at the end,
15.
15,000 fidget spinners. Yeah, it's like an investment which he was going to sell on. But it was kind of towards the end of the trend, and then he couldn't sell them on, and then he was just like, "Hey, do you want to buy like 600 fidget spinners for like £5?" And I'm like, "No,
Not
no,
really.
I don't." It's like, you're connected with the young kids with your e-gaming. I'm like, "No, sorry."
Should have asked
Imagine,
you first.
imagine
Just-
if I'm here on the panel, just be like, "And by the way, guys, I've got some."
You gotta
They're coming back. They're making a
Making
comeback.
a comeback, yeah. If only I possessed the influence to bring Dota-themed fidget spinners into popularity. But nevertheless, we do have a draft for game number 2 of Aster versus MagMa. And as we've mentioned before, there's a possibility if MagMa going down that cheese aisle at the supermarket and picking themselves up maybe a lone druid or something like that. I'd be down for it.
Yeah,
That'd
no,
be
no differences in bans so far. Team MagMa banning out the Enigma and Team Aster with the Tusk. What were the other 2 bans? I can't actually recall, but I'm
They
sure
banned
the
Shaman on
Shaman?
Team Aster on
Mhm.
MagMa. Black.
I don't know at all.
I'm sure we'll remember Alchemist. Yeah, that was it.
Or was it actually
Alchemist.
Alchemist?
It
an easy
actually
one.
was, yeah,
an
it
easy
was,
one,
it
yeah,
was.
yeah, yeah.
And we were
Okay.
talking about Alchemist so much before that first game. Now we've forgotten about completely about it.
Honestly,
the hero.
Alchemist is like a, it's like an average team crusher. Like, you just accelerate so fast, and if you don't get stopped, the game is just over in 15-20 minutes. So it makes a lot of sense that an inexperienced team would ban it.
Still though, exactly what you said, the average team crusher. Like I'm not to put my I'm still to put my full faith in the hero in games in which we are seeing 2 giants clashing.
It's always hit or miss, right? Either Alchemist crushes or he just does nothing. Like, there's
Yeah.
no in between. Same as with a carry Alchemist, really. Either you crush the game or you don't. It's a very hit or miss hero.
Certainly is. Certainly is.
But no Alchemist this game, unfortunately.
It
I
was-
love to see Alchemist.
Yeah, in the FDC League it was actually played this morning as well. It was played against Vichy Gaming and they didn't care, they just crushed. So crushed against the Alchemist, that is.
Yeah.
But it was also a game in which Vichy Gaming were favorited as well, as a stronger team, that is.
They take the puck.
They do.
Team Aster,
So good.
Is a good hero.
Ah,
I like.
da.
sehr schön.
So.
Mm.
And Aster with the
Aster
IO
IO
again.
But this time, no puck.
I feel like if you're Aster, right, you're taking the series as practice. And
But you still have to be very
yeah,
serious
of
about
course,
yeah.
100%. But you must be also a little bit angry that you can't pick up that Alchemist and see how it goes for yourself, right? It's been the rage. Everyone is playing it, all big teams, and now MagMa just banning out the Alchemist versus
Might
you.
be good for Aster though, because they will be playing IG as last team, And like, if they somehow get Alchemist and they crush super hard, you know, yeah, let's do it against IG. And then IG's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, but IG picked Alchemist.
They
when
did,
were-
they did. They love the Alchemist. Pick A straight off the bat.
Ah, there we go. This is what I was calling for last game. The A is the answer to the IO. And I also really like it with Puck as well. You know, A always works best when you've got these target heroes, you know, to place down that big old point your blast here, buddy spell. And Coil is definitely that.
Yeah, it was banned out last game, so
In the
they-
second
they
phase,
could-
though.
Yeah,
Second phase, yeah.
but versus IO, very good. The problem always is if IO is a core, suddenly this AA feels a little bit worse. You can just blow him up with your spirit balls as well. You're very. The problem is you have 550 goddamn movement speed with the Helm of Dominator.
Just hit the Ice Blast, bro.
So that hitting that Ice Blast, even with control such as Puck, is not that simple.
As soon as A's hands go up, it like slowly flies towards you. Like
Yeah, you're just gone.
yeah.
See ya.
At least you can't see it like before when you would drop a sentry and you would see the Ice Blast
coming through.
Or
But
just they throw it through the tower and you just see it through the tower.
yeah.
I know it's coming from me.
when you're running into the fountain and then you just see a red dot flying over the tower on top of you and you're trying to run
Well,
out.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys run, I just accept it. I'm just like, well, I'm not gonna.
If you're that good, I'll give it to you.
Yeah, exactly. But the Brewmaster comes out from Aster. This is a blast from the past. Very popular hero for the first few weeks of the Chinese DPC. Has since declined in popularity, but Aster, they want to dust off the old tricycle and give it a ride.
Yeah, I'm still not too sure what to think about it here, to be honest. Sometimes it looks amazing, other times it looks like a complete burden. I don't know. It's
All right, versus the Puck, right? Because of
It
your
is.
ulti versus the AA as well. Looks like a solid Brewmaster game.
It is. That is a solid game for sure.
If they wanted to do IO Brew as well, leave 3 and 4, is that a strong link? It sounds like a
10
strong
seconds left.
brawler.
It's good. You have, I mean, the combo wouldn't really be the crit, I think, but more like the balls into the, what's it called? The drunk
Cinder
thing.
Brew.
Cinder Brew,
Is it?
yeah. It's a lot of magic damage, especially like level 3, it's just like 500 magic damage. A lot of burst potential. But it's probably just gonna be the it's a lot of IO. Like Monet doesn't strike me as the kind of guy who would like to play IO. Maybe I'm wrong, but it's probably just I get from the guy.
I would love to see it, nonetheless. I would love to see it from Aster, so that they're a little bit more flexible on that position 1 for the IO to practice up for the IG series, because right now IG, they feel like they have also a slight drafting advantage over Aster. Speaking about that series,
They're too versatile on IG. They really are.
and if Aster at least flexes this IO into the core position, then they can get a little bit in IG's head, right? At least they need to consider that IO core. At least flexes this IO into
That's
the core
assuming
position, then
IG
they can
knows
get a little bit
fear,
in IG's head, right?
which
At least
they don't
need
look
to
like they do.
consider They definitely don't.
No,
I've
they're
seen their
pretty
photo shoot.
merciless.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was pretty rough. Yeah.
Merciless.
Rave King.
Eyes of killers.
They definitely
Yeah.
don't.
Rave King
I've
is
seen
great
their
against
photo
A.
shoot. Yeah.
Of course, you just die to the blast, but then you don't actually die.
Merciless. Eyes of
Same,
killers.
same
Just
as
kidding,
Puck.
lol. Yeah.
Just
Oh,
killing lol. I'm back up, bro.
can't really do anything about the Skellies as well if you're the AA. Later on, the shard is kind of neat with the Puck. You get a lot of magic damage. Can't really do anything about the Skellies.
What's the
as
level
well
4
if you're
increase?
the AA.
25 or
Later on,
30?
the shard is kind of neat with the Puck. Is it 30?
think it's 30.
You
Okay,
get
30.
30 magic damage. Spirit Breaker.
Again.
Again, we see the
What's the
hero.
level 4 increase? 25 or
So this
30?
is like MagMa's answer to the IO, because this is the second time they've placed it.
I thought it was the answer to Nick's last game.
Yeah.
But maybe they think it's just against the IO.
There was an
Like MagMa's
like
answer to the IO. 'cause this is
long
the
time
second
ago, I
they've
used to
placed it.
counter
thought it was
mid
the
lane,
answer to
dual
Nick's
lanes of
last
IO
game.
plus
Yeah.
1 with Spirit
Maybe they
Breaker,
think
but
it's
that's
against the IO.
literally this is blast of the past. The grandpa lizard talking. This was my thing that
Back in my
yeah, you take Spirit Breaker, you go mid, you play versus IO Tiny, and you just buy poor man's shield on Spirit Breaker. On Spirit
Grandpa
Breaker.
lizards.
You
Take
get
your medication, go to sleep.
you get tossed into the tower, and by the time you walk out of range, you didn't take even 100 damage. By the two of them hitting you at the tower. Those are some good days. However, let's go into reality, into
Yeah,
today's world.
2021.
Yeah,
please.
Spirit Breaker isn't nearly as strong versus IO. However,
Dragon Knight.
go into
It's good against Puck, but it's
reality
awful
into
against AA.
today's
Look at
world.
how many of those boxes he
Breaker isn't nearly
ticks as
as
he
strong
fills
versus
up
IO.
that chart with his lovely redness.
It's good
Ticking all his
against
boxes,
Puck,
really. He's just a good all-rounder.
He
DK.
always has been.
Yeah.
He tanks, he stuns, he deals damage.
Meanwhile, MagMa, they go with a Morphling.
Yeah, they have that I already picked. The A, sorry, already picked up. Nothing to worry about there.
They go with a Morphling.
It's pretty good against Dragon Knight, IO, and Brewmaster. Really, don't really care too much about any of those. The Wraith King matchup can be a bit tough. If Wraith King gets a good start, a fast Radiance, he can outscale you. But it's pretty good against DK. You can turn into the DK, stun him.
They do have decent amount of stuns, right, from the DK, and then follow up with the Wraith King is nice.
Morph can definitely get caught off position pretty easily.
They do have decent amount of stuns, right, from the DK. But looks like a solid morphing game, nothing really that he struggles against too hard.
DK actually surprised me a little bit. I always felt like playing DK into an AA is so hard. Like this Vortex owns you. You're not super mobile, so the cold feet can give you a lot of trouble too.
I think it's this combination of IO plus Dragonite that they're going back to. We've seen it. Like, yeah, they have a Wraith King, and yeah, this IO will be played by bo3 most likely, but IO Dragonite just looks very solid. After the Frost Blast.
After the Frost Blast.
The Frost Blast, yeah, you're kind of useless.
Just build Saint Yasha on
solid. Which is something that we've seen, right? Kaya and Yasha. The Frost Blast, Kansas, so you're kind of useless.
Yeah, maybe it's an offlane Wraith King. You never know. Could be 5
something that we've seen.
1 IO offlane Wraith King. Let's go.
Galaxy Brain.
Yeah, maybe it's an offlane Wraith King. You never know. Strength Chorus, probably not.
Probably not.
There's a possibility.
Offlane Wraith King into a Morphling as well seems kind of sus.
So good.
Yeah.
You put out your skeletons, he's like,
probably not.
What do I do? Right clicking me, I could use any one of my abilities, but
I guess I'll just hit him twice.
If he morphs full agi, you never know. He might die.
Never
Can happen.
full agi.
Yeah.
right clicking me, I could use any one of my abilities.
Last 2 bands, DP, Pangolier.
If he morphs full agi, and Batrider plus OD on the side of Team MagMa. Yeah, just this OD versus Morphling. We've seen that matchup go historically really poorly for a Morphling. So we have that pure damage too. We've seen
pure damage
that matchup. The pure damage. Historically really poorly for a Morphling. So we have that pure damage.
We'll have to see if Puck is going to be middle or offlane. Can be in both
pure
positions, of
damage.
course.
Viper for Team MagMa.
I could see it. It owns DK. Puck, we'll have to see
DK,
if
there's
Puck is
Wraith
going to be
King.
middle or offlane.
Nice crits, idiot. Viper. But they go Sand King. Interesting.
Sand King Kamif.
So it's a lot of
Spirit Breaker mid. No, I'm just kidding.
Lots of AoE damage.
a lot of AoE damage, a lot of magical damage as well, forcing some earlier BKBs perhaps from Team Aster.
Time for Black Dragon this game.
Double Sand King with the Morphling as well is very good.
we've seen that Axe do absolute work.
But it's the same as Spirit Breaker. Morph can also turn for Spirit Breaker.
True.
Go Beastmaster
Two
last
tasty targets.
The Morphling as well is very so it's not Wraith King offlane. Who could have guessed?
What a twist! Playing exactly how everyone else thought they would. Alrighty, well, Aster just going to round things off quite nicely. I mean, this just looks very bread and butter to me. Aster have got like a straightforward draft. MagMa have got a straighthtforward draft. Alrighty, like I don't think there's any like big hard counts here. I do like the Sand King. I really do like the Sand King. I think it's a good answer to the IO. These two heroes are always going to reload in together. You can catch them with stun. You can set up on them. So I'm pretty liking MagMa. Still going to go Aster though.
Again,
Back to the usual. A lot of potential for Team MagMa with this draft. But Aster's going to win.
Yeah. Same like in game 1. I feel like MagMa has a stronger draft once again, but Aster.
Alrighty, let's bring in our casting duo of B-Cup and Lacoste and find out what they have to say about game number 2. Anyone brave enough to take the plunge?
Not really. I mean, to be honest, this time around, I'm heavily favoring Team Aster's draft, even though it's like 5 strength heroes, 4 melee. I think they have like an easier execution, and MagMa, you know, they show their weaknesses so many times throughout this DPC season.
Bold prediction.
Thank you.
B-Cup, you know, I'm just saying you can play the odds here. You can play the odds. 4 against 1.
You can be a king, B-Cup.
That's not how odds work, I feel like. It's the odds on the game, not the odds on who predicted what. Right?
4 against 1?
Whatever.
Whatever, just predict.
I'm going Aster.
You going Aster?
Yeah.
Big smoke, big smoke.
All right.
Faster.
Oh, big 5-man smoke coming into the game, so we're going to throw it across to you guys. Beak up and Lacoste. Take it away for game number 2.
Thank you very
Big
much.
smoke, big smoke.
Well, see,
Oh,
not a
big
5-man smoke again.
coming into the
They're
game, so
doing
we're gonna
this.
throw it across to you guys. Beak
One of
up
these
and
days,
Lacoste. Take it
there will
away
be a
for
5-man
game
smoke or even a 10-man smoke. We'll see. I'm hoping it happens, and we could just
Not this
jump right
time
in.
around. Did I just see that correctly? Io, Borax starting with Blightstone. Level 1 on Io. I don't think I've seen this ever before. Like, usually Io is about sustain in the lane. Sometimes even like Sage Mask. Interesting build. Like, Borax is the one who's, you know, trying to break the game, make stuff happen. Like, he just checked if there's an observer ward on the mid to be able to de-ward that, but it's on the enemy. It's on their own side of the high ground, so they're not going to be able to de-ward that one.
Unless they happen upon it, but doubt it. Lanham, is he building a Falcon Blade on this brew?
I don't think so. I think build on Brewmaster as a position 5 is Urn. Urn of Shadows, because you just ignite with the Urn of Shadow damage with the Cinder Brew. It's so good. They don't have that many like spells to be able to like ignite them, so that Urn will help quite a lot.
Ooh, okay, so he's actually laning with the Beastmaster.
This might be actually like a position 4 Brewmaster. It's not so much about the roles, it's about the lane. Blowing into like Sanking, and all right, they're trying to wrap around.
Burrow
Kaz.
Strike comes in. They've got themselves the cold feet onto Monet.
Good body blocks.
He'll freeze over, and Monet getting really low, looking like he's going to drop in. First blood for Kaz on the Ancient Apparition. I'm always a big fan of Ancient Apparitions getting first blood. Feels really good, and he's going to TP towards the top lane.
And Borax not wanting to get any CS, just gets one. You know, drags the creep wave back so that Monet can get the last hits.
Yeah, just going to keep it with him as much as he can. We'll see how that goes. And right now, Brewmaster going into the Thunderclap first. So Lanham, Thunderclap, you know, sometimes we'll see him with the Troll. You get those whirling axes with the Cinder Brew. That's the combination that we've seen
They
quite a
can't.
bit.
They don't have a hero to ignite them. Even if he uses a Cinder Brew, like there's not a spell coming out from the Beastmaster.
You
that
just
can
get covered
ignite
in
it.
beer. That's it. Which is, you know, never a good feeling in itself. I don't know if you've ever spilled beer on yourself or a brew on yourself. It gets all sticky. It's not a fun time. Lanham going after Kaz. Just throwing some right clicks away. We'll see how he progresses in this lane, how the Beastmaster does, because you see a lot of Beastmasters put pressure on, sit towards the top of the net worth, but against this Morphling, how's this matchup supposed to go?
Ancient Apparition and the Morphling, they don't have enough damage to actually kill Morphling in this lane. If he has enough mana to just use the waveform, he can get away. So Shylock should have a pretty decent time, but so is Beastmaster. Like, I think both offlaners and the safe lane will farm here. Kaz, however, on Ancient Apparition needs to be careful. A lot of slow coming out from the Boar and the Brewmaster, and we can already see Kaz struggling a bit to just deal with the Brewmaster. Boar is such a strong, like, laning beast. You have an extra unit that slows down. It got nerfed in the previous patch, but still feels very strong. To be honest, I'm not sure why it had 350 move speed to start with.
Yeah, it's a lot to work with, and even now it feels like just like you get those 2 boars out, you have another slow to pile on, you're running down heroes, getting early kills just with the boars alone, and it feels really strong. So Kaz, he's gonna have to be careful here. Get the second level in the boar, getting a couple levels on Lanham, like things get tricky if you're not careful. Thunderclap action, Lanham hit with the cold feet in return. So any other matchups in particular that you're thinking are going to be close? Or should be close?
Mid lane is just trading farm, trading CS. I don't think anyone can get a kill before level 6, or unless we see like 1 or 2 heroes rotating. Team Aster very limited on the lockdown for Puck this game, so Puck should have an easy one. They have a Roar. Puck can easily like just dodge that. The only instant stun they have is a Dragon Knight. So Dragon Knight's item build like needs to be an earlier Blink Dagger. We can see the ball refill on the mid lane.
Charge comes out onto White Album.
Almost got him.
Is an invis, and yeah, White Album not really too worse for wear, especially with the rotation from bo3. That ends up being okay. So just some pressure. They didn't even. It wasn't even pressure to get the 4-minute rune though.
It was just a casual charge, like, let's see how much damage we can do. It's a Dragon Knight, 2 points in Dragon Blood. Also a hero that's going to receive probably a huge buff after anime is released.
Yeah, so be ready to train up your dragon play.
And buy all the cosmetics right now, invest in them, because they're going to skyrocket.
Get those diamond hands going, and yeah, they're going to skyrocket up. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Persona in the future for Dragon Knight, or maybe an Arcana, or both. Who knows?
Good way of thinking, B-Cup.
Radiant structure.
If you worked for Valve, you would definitely like get a raise for saying this.
I'll send over my CV.
Bottom lane, they have a sentry, easy Y, with the stun still inside that sandstorm. They have enough regen with the magic wand. On bo3, Monet, like this bottom lane becomes a lot harder as time goes by. Like Spirit Breaker doesn't really provide that much. Spirit Breaker will go and pick up a bounty rune, refill the bottle,
and bring it back.
Yeah, what a bro. Spirit Broker.
Yeah, so he also does some accounting on the side, being a broker. But filling up that bottle, bringing it on back to the puck. It's a nice refill to get when you're not coming from Fountain, if you're dying in lane or something like that, which nobody has died since that first blood that they got over bottom. And look at this, XSS, Lanham, just putting the pressure on. Lanham's only level 2. XSS
Lanham,
getting a majority of the
has been level 1 for quite some time. He just wants to be able to give Beastmaster level 6.
Shylock out of mana. Charge coming in, but they've got the tether, and this is Shylock forced to run away. Slow coming out from Kaz. He's getting low on mana as well, and it looks like the damage on the Shylock's going to be more than enough to get the kill. And all of a sudden, Yan Yan shows up just to die. Dust comes in. He's level 6, so he does have Dream Coil to throw down on this, but is it going to net in anything positive? They'll snap the Dream Coil, and bo3, he'll die for that. I'm not sure he dies if he doesn't snap that Dream Coil.
I still think they get a kill, but yeah, great rotation from Aster. One of the reasons why they did not give a lot of XP to the Brewmaster to get that Beastmaster closer to level 6. You know, get an extra point in a boar with the Necronomicon, mana burn, Morphling just doesn't feel very comfortable playing into that.
No, not at all. And you could see just the second he realized that they were putting the pressure on him, he ran into the trees and then was forced to run out of the lane. And that's just not the pressure you really want to be dealing with if you're Morphling in lane. We're seeing a lot of charges come out from MagMa, but
yeah, he can't find like real openings.
Yeah.
Heroes inside of Aster, extremely tanky. They have 5 strength heroes. You know, very hard to bring down.
TZY just in the Sandstorm. He's level 6, Monet level 7. After giving up that first blood. He's fine with where he's at right now, and well, we see the Wraith King does have Midas queued up. Almost has the gold for it, so just a couple creeps away. We'll have that Midas, 8-minute Midas, not a bad timing at all, with boots.
Yeah, usually we see either like phase boots into casual gloves, not upgrading into Midas, and then straight into Radiance. But if you want to get Midas, I think you get it before the phase boot just to hit an earlier timing, get the more value from it. Dragon Knight, finish the hood, Soul Ring, Fairy Fire. I'm not sure how you kill this guy. You need A8 to be level 6 to be able to actually kill him. Other than that, I don't think. Plus, you need to bring at least 3 heroes in total, maybe even a 4th one.
That's a lot of commitment for heroes. open up the map quite a bit. Now they're working with this Midas. See if he goes to the wand or finishes off the phase boots first. Wouldn't be surprised if he just goes straight phase, ignore the wand altogether, but we'll see. Cold feet placed on to Lanham, who's still just sitting here level 3. Not a lot of experience coming out on the supports thus far, as Kaz is level 5. And the supports on Radiant, nowhere close to that.
TZY has a lot of farm on his Sanking, doing a good job in the lane, high
Pressure
level.
on to Monet. Bottom bashes in, and they do have Dream Coil with the puck TPing over, and they've already got the first life, so Monet in a lot of trouble, and nobody's here to help this out. They're going to try and fight over mid. They've got the Elder Dragon form popped mid as they lose Lanham, lose Monet. 2 heroes gone on Aster, and this is just a bit too split from them. XSS taking top, though, and continue to put
Breaker
pressure
needs to
there.
cancel that charge. Like, Dragonite is just not dying. Meanwhile, on the top lane, Beastmaster takes the tower, has a Necro 2 finished. Even with the Boots of Speed, sometimes we see Beastmaster just completely skipping Boots. They get Necro 3 into Boots of Speed. This opens up the map for them. They would gladly love to take a tier 1 tower on a mid lane. On side of Aster, which is like lower than half HP, they know Coil is down. So they should try to take that fight. Play with the catapult. Brewmaster needs to find the levels for himself. Whenever you play Brew, he buys the book. Okay, I respect that. That's one way to get the levels, even though like even Borax is a bit under level, but he will be connected to Monet, soak up some experience from those ancient stacks. And the Brewmaster needs that tome. You want to make stuff done with the first split. Not so much when you're playing 5, but if it's a core Brewmaster, like you're relying on the timing, you can't afford to just not get anything out of the split.
Yeah. As well as comes bottom. You usually want it pretty early on. I mean, it's definitely a lot of your team's control, so it's a struggle that he hasn't been able to get it just yet. That courier,
and
oof,
it delivered, so he's level 6. They just need to have another rotation to be able to defend the tower, but as I mentioned, already rotation on the mid. They want to take this tower, open up the map for them. TZY getting closer to the Blink Dagger. They need that one to be able to like initiate, even though they have a Spirit Breaker. Still like a lot of damage coming up from the epicenter.
There's the Dragon Tail coming out, but the charge from Yam Yam trying to save the life here of Shylock does enough to do so. No split used by Lanham. And checking out this mid tier 1, the top tier 1, shrinking the map and the farm space for MagMa, as they've certainly got the heroes here to keep the pressure on to these towers for sure.
There's the Blink Dagger on Sanking, smoke from MagMa, probably to be able to reveal that Blink Dagger, get possibly a kill. Who's showing on the mid lane? It's just a Borax. That's not the kill that they want to get. They want to get the higher priority kill from that. Probably Wraith King. Wraith King does not have ulti yet up again.
Well, it's down for another 45 seconds, and you really want to get into this Radiance as quickly as you can, but Lanham, perfect positioning.
Monet knows something is up.
That was really well done by Lanham. Breaks the smoke. Overall, really well done, but Burrow Strike comes in with the Ice Blast. Oh! They still get the kill there onto Borax, but here comes the turnaround with the Primal Orb being used on the puck. Puck low uses the Dream Coil. May not get out of this one, but the Illusory Orb away as they've taken out XXS.
There's the split.
That's 2 kills now for MagMa, and they fought pretty well. The slow on a Miam Miam. This charge is taking forever. He gets hit by the Cyclone from Lanham. The stun and the damage on a TZY. It's at least one train, maybe a second, as another stun is thrown onto Miam Miam. He's trying to get out of this, but is cycloned up once again. They've got the help coming through from Borax, but do they have the damage? Trying to charge, but he's so slow. That charge is just a walk-in.
What is that, a charge? That's level 4 charge. He was so slow. Thing is, for MagMa, it's going to become harder for them to take a fight whenever there's a split up, when there's a Necro units. Like, these are units that you do not want to focus in the team fight, but they do quite a lot, so it could be a bit tricky. Like, good smoke, but also even a better read from Aster. Like, you could see Monet just sitting almost near tier 3 towers, understanding that something is happening. But MagMa, they need to get something out of that smoke, decide to get a kill on that Wisp, and get one extra with the Beastmaster.
I want to see how slow that Spirit Breaker was. Must have been like 100 movement speed, right?
Yeah, probably.
Because he was moving in place.
And that's a position for Spirit Breaker in this game, which means he gets a bit more farm priority, doesn't have to buy the sentries, phase boots, and the windlays. So, you know, that's a lot of move speed, but not when you're slowed down like that.
Yeah, from 425 to what looked like nothing. He was moonwalking and playing a little music to it. Well, thriller maybe. XSS continuing to farm bottom, has some support with Lanham here. Primal Roar back up. The Primal Split is on cooldown. Dream Coil there for Dust. Let's see if they make a move. They've got 3 bottom, now a 4th, and they do smoke. Lanham showing in lane. Blink, Burrow Strike, Ice Blast, but Elder Dragon forms silent, and the charge comes in. So a lot of trouble here as they've already got XSS and Lanham. This is not where they want to be. Ice Blast finally running out as that did hit on the White Album. Didn't want to commit too much, but the Burrow Strike ends up being short. And the charge comes out onto the DK, but never lands. And with Borax going back to where he relocated to, well, that's a problem. 3 dead on Aster.
Aster needs a bit more time. Raid King has Hand of Midas, so they need that Radiance timing to kick in. Beastmaster also needs to be able to use his roar to win a fight, summon a Necrobook. If they don't have it, I don't think they have enough damage. Dragonite right now is super tanky, but this is not where the damage really comes from.
Right. So Monet, he's getting close to that Sacred Relic. Has been just farming the entire time. He sits top of the net worth by 600 gold above the Morphling. And we'll see how quickly Morphling can start to really get the ball rolling here, as he does have that Yasha going into the Lincoln's Axe. And that's the Axe for the combo with the Spirit Breaker. Ice Blast coming in. Dust stunned up for a second. Lanham has the Primal Split. He'll use it. Yan slowed down to basically nothing. They'll take the Spirit Breaker. Cyclone on a Kaz. They've also found Dust. And these right clicks coming through from Monet are enough to get the kill. That's 2, now 3. As Lanham has the Cyclone. Loses the Panda. Goes back to form, and
they can go straight into Roche, but they have enough damage. A lot of attack speed coming on from the Inner Beast, the Necro units on top of that. Scan connect, so Dire knows something is up. There is an Epicenter. AA out in 10 seconds. We'll have a blast, but I don't think it's doable. I think Roche will die before that, unless Sanking decides to go in with the Burrow Epi. AA ulti.
Ooh, he's got Blink. He might make the moment happen. Epi, Ice Blast. All right, that hits. The combo's there. Monet taking some damage. Will turn this around on the TZY, though, and get a +1.
Hood will keep them alive. Nice try, a bit too late. They needed to bring 1 extra hero, possibly. Give vision so Spirit Breaker could charge in. Dust in a bit of a trouble. Dragonite stunned him.
Yeah, they've looked to get this control onto the puck. They've gotten themselves the tether, so the damage onto the DK is just feeling non-existent. They get the kill into Dust. They look over at Yan. The Primal Roar was used by XSS. They've got the ulti used there, but it's just not enough. The damage isn't there for them, and they're
even Lanham
survives.
Heroes. Yeah, this is the decision-making that kind of wins you the game. Aster, a more experienced team. They get 2 pickoffs. AA Blast will connect, but I don't think anyone is in trouble. So they turn those couple of kills into Roshan, into Tier 2 Tower, into another good fight. They give enough time for Raid King to buy a Radiance. Also, Dragonite picks up the Aegis, which is something that we don't usually see, especially on these transformation heroes.
Right.
But since they have a Raid King, I don't think they need to worry too much about that. There's no mana burn coming out from any of the heroes on MagMa, and their combo might come in a bit too slow. Like Morphling going for the Lincoln Sphere, I can understand that. Blink Initiation from the Dragonite, stun from the Beastmaster, so wants to be able to get that shift off in a fight. It's a scary combo. We've seen it, especially in the Southeast Asia region. Morphling plus Spirit Breaker combo. Once Morphling gets the Aghanim Scepter, Spirit Breaker looks pretty dead.
Yeah.
Just gonna stun lock him.
Yan hasn't exactly felt effective in this game thus far. And they're going to take another tower. On top of that, they got the outpost, and that's about 1.5 minutes away from going off, which means no experience for MagMa. And if it does that, stay that way. Oh, whoa, a big jump in from Dust to death.
Another one bites the dust.
Ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
And they will continue. They will just go for the high ground, I believe. Well, they could actually threaten the high ground. I'm not sure why. There was a dragon form up. They still had the Necro Warriors. Guess they did not want to risk anything. They had 2 heroes dead. Surprised Aster actually did not go for the high ground there.
Yeah, you just definitely
you
feel
don't
the
necessarily
pressure.
need to go in. You still have like 2.5 minutes left on that Aegis. Raid King has 2 lives going into Blink Dagger, BKB. Maybe they're waiting like 2 big items. Beastmaster also after Casual Cloak, getting that BKB, something that we see quite often lately. Just be able to stand your ground and get some right clicks going. Beastmaster has a lot of attack speed, a lot of right clicks, if he can get on top of the target.
Yeah, basically an attack a second with that attack speed, doing well. White Album going into the BKB, not too far away from it, has the gold soon enough. Charge comes in, but again, it's a decision to charge a very tanky hero and put yourself in a really bad spot. Mian looking to die as the blink forward damage quickly on a White Album, and he's gone. So the Aegis, it's popped. But also, there wasn't an amazing amount of time left on it. Maybe just wanted to do a little bit more. The team didn't exactly follow up there with him, and he was killed pretty quickly.
Still a good trade. You know, just Aegis for one of the heroes. Spirit Breaker doesn't worth that much gold. Still, lanes, look at where the lanes are standing. They're all being pushed in by Team Aster. It's very risky to try to split push against the Beastmaster. You know, they have a superior vision, relocate. Like this combo of the heroes, Beastmaster plus Io, has been popular for pretty much since forever. Roar into relocate, easy setup, easy play.
More off cooldown, split in 5. Not going into the Ags, of course. Not really going to get that kind of gold on this Brewmaster for the moment. But yeah, no Philosopher's Stone for either side. We actually haven't seen Philosopher's Stone at all today.
A bit disappointed.
At least for the supports.
Yeah, this is the item that could make a lot of the difference. We've seen it on like, I'll hold that thought. Flame stun.
Yeah, coming through on a TZY. Burrow Strike trying to get away from this. And now a charge again. Look how slow Mian is. He just can't do anything, and he is, well, get dead again.
MagMa right now, it feels they're just waiting for Morphling to buy that Aghanim Scepter and pray something will happen. I'm just not sure if they have enough time. They need to fight right here, right now.
Again on the TZY, dominating for XXS. The glyph was used, and they're on the high ground. They've got a siege creep to work with. Boars, of course, you know, XSS giving that extra attack speed. Very okay with just siege in the high ground and most likely taking a set of racks.
This is what I felt that they could have done after taking a tier 1, tier 2 tower on the bottom lane. Just continue, go in, finish the barracks, but it's a much safer play. Hit their timings. You have this BKB on a Beastmaster. You have BKB Dragonite for quite some time. Now even Raid King getting closer to his. About to finish it off. 3 BKBs. All they have is pretty much magical damage from MagMa. It's possibly time to close out this game.
Yeah, let's take the tier 2 mid as well, or at least try to. TZY TPing in. Blink Burrow Strike lands on a 2. Ice Blast to follow it up, and I don't believe that hit onto the Brewmaster. Doesn't matter though, he's gonna go into the Primal Split. They've got the stun on a Mian. They'll finish off the Spirit Breaker, and again, they just can't crack the shell that is this Aster lineup.
They're just too tanky at the moment. Not enough damage.
They'll find TZY again.
White Album has been really on point with his Blink initiation. Yule Scepter on Morphling from the Panda.
Waveform back. Shylock though, get his Lincolns popped by the White Album Dragon Tail. Monet freezing over, but he's got Reincarnation, level 3, doesn't really need to worry too much. So, again, just Aster methodically taking down MagMa for the moment. Like, this has just been a very simple game right now for them.
Yeah, MagMa after laning stage, not really providing much, not going for any aggressive plays, leaving Roshan to die, which allows Team Aster to play even more aggressively. Like, if Aster wants to go safe with this one, wait for the second Roche to respawn, Cheese and Aegis. Like, you have Wraith King that you just mentioned, who has level 3 reincarnation, 40 seconds cooldown on that. Not sure why it's 40 seconds, seems a bit too low, but it is what it is. So they can pretty much keep fighting all the time. They can also get rid of the vision with the Beastmaster Necro units.
I think even...
Now, Beastmaster also upgraded, the Shard Call of the Wild Hawk, which allows you to move the Hawk, which is a pretty big thing. It was like that before, and you also have the Dive Bomb.
Yeah, you have the Dive Bomb, which is probably part of that is really not needed.
Yeah, it's all
it's
about
like
being... Yeah, exactly.
Go in looking for Kaz. TZY relocate coming in. TZY, well, he's going to survive a little bit longer than Kaz, but he's still dead and still on the menu for Aster. Dominating for Monet, who has only died twice this game. White Album deathless. 5-0-7 thus far.
Lanham once again going into that Eon disc, locks it in case he does not need to pop it straight away. And yeah, feels like this is just the end of Team MagMa.
That's what it feels like, is they're going to go for another set of racks. They've got the Blink Dragon Tail coming in again. Dream Coil's used, but only defensively. It's there, but it's not doing anything. It really doesn't prevent much from Aster as they pop the BKB on White Album. Axe is picked up by the Morphling. Maybe they could do something here, but it doesn't look likely. Aeon Disc allows him to get the Primal Split off. Shylock, even with the Axe, he's immediately going to fall afterwards, is what it's looking like. Primal Roar is there. They've got the lockdown. They'll get the kill. And with that, they'll call GG, and Aster will secure the 2-0.
Very one-sided game, a one-sided series as expected. Team Aster is just overall a better team. MagMa, team that still has a lot to learn, gain some experience. Team Aster looking hot. Everyone pretty much expected this result. So, yeah, clean execution.
Yeah, really clean from them. Pretty simple overall for Aster. I think they show, again, why they're towards the top of the table. Yeah. They look really good, and, you know, everything is moving as one. The gears are turning, and the factory's running. So, Aster look really good. They'll take the series 2-0. Break it down a little bit further for you. We've got that handsome panel. Back over to you guys.
An absolute dismantling from Team Aster in what could fairly be described as one of the most convincing series of the entire tournament so far. That was just clinical. Guys, I mean, where were the cracks in this Team MagMa team, and how did Aster take advantage of it?
Just overall by better gameplay. Cracks were everywhere. It's not one of those, you know, movies in which you have to find the perfect solution, the perfect formula for the enemy team. It's just whatever they throw on MagMa, it seemingly works. And MagMa, when they do try to respond, it's either a second or two too late, or they aren't there in full force. You could see the power of their